This is Athens. On a beautiful day in late November to watch Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs take the field in Sanford Stadium for the final time. It's the home closer against the Charlotte 49ers on SEC Network. Are what they call a DGD. So is Gunnar Stockton, and that guy is playing at a Heisman Trophy level right now.
Absolutely. I mean, he's kind of foisted himself into that conversation. In fact, we'll make a pretty strong case he should probably be at the top of that list as far as Heisman contenders. The way that he's performed, and it's not just season long, but how he's performed in the biggest moments versus the toughest teams, ranked opponents, where Gunnar Stockton has really emerged as the playmaker and leader of this offense. It's been evident throughout the season, but none more so in those clutch moments and most needed moments where that quarterback for Georgia has really stepped up and answered the bell.
Charlotte won the toss and deferred, so Gunnar and the Dogs will receive the kick. First, we go to the field in the great Alyssa Lang.
Yeah, Taylor, when it comes to motivating this Georgia team for this game today, Kirby Smart told us that earlier this week, a staffer pulled video from some previous Georgia teams, that 2021 game when that team was up 49-0 at halftime on Charleston Southern. Then fast forward to last year, the 2024 team was in what Kirby Smart called a battle against UMass in the third quarter. It was 31-21 at one point during that game. The question was issued to this team: what kind of team do you want to be? What sort of program, what sort of statement do you want to make in a game like this? We talked to some of the senior leaders yesterday, KJ Bolden, Gunnar Stockton, a huge part of the leadership for this team, who said they understand there's an opportunity to get some of those younger guys who will be instrumental in a playoff run this year onto the field, but only if they take care of business first.
And there is Tim Albin in his first year after all the success he had with Ohio, those 10-win seasons and going to the MAC championship game, winning it last year, starting over for the 49ers of Charlotte. We'll tell you about the history of their program in just a moment. I don't want any more trash talk from great golfers that played here like Kevin Kisner about my jacket. It is too hot. I agree. It's almost 80 degrees here late in November, so the jacket just came off here in short sleeve weather with the 49ers and the Dogs here between the edges. One last time in Sanford this season. And the aforementioned Gunnar Stockton will get the ball at the 25-yard line. Tiger, Georgia native. Kirby Smart said to us yesterday, Stinch, he is a really, really good leader. He enjoys being in school here, and the young team that we have truly looks up to him.
And it's been evident the way the guys played around him. Really kind of showed up in that SEC championship game last year when they came out of the locker room with number 14 as the starter.
Empty backfield on the first play with 5 options out wide, including Lucky there in motion. And a quick ball that's caught at the 30, and Cash Jones spins a couple of times and has a first down. There are a bunch of people whose favorite player wears number 32, including the offensive coordinator, Mike Bobo. That's Dwight Phillips that's in the backfield now. And Gunnar will swing it out to him. And Dwight is tackled in the backfield by Travion McGee. Iowa State transfer. That's a loss of 6. It's Cash Jones back there on 3rd and 12 with Stockton clapping his hands. Clean pocket into traffic. Intercepted if he got a foot down. No. Jaquarius Conley did catch that ball, but was out of bounds as Stockton threw it into traffic.
Obviously, the third down's such a challenge. It'll be interesting to see if the crowd has any impact in this game with an early kick.
It's good in the lower bowl here today for that epic win against Texas last week. 3rd and 3, and they'll run it. And it is Joey Burns III who has no place to go, swarmed by dog defenders.
Well, one of the things about the Georgia defense, and this has been documented, observed by many, is where are the sacks, the negative yardage plays. The truth is that they do a really good job of holding the point and squeezing those gaps. And Georgia execute on their 2nd, 3rd down of the day.
Swing it out, and there's a good ball to Branch, and Zachariah has a 1st down. Zachariah into 49ers territory. That's his 60th catch of the year. The next closest is Colby Young with 23.
You're right, the 49er defense doing a good job muddying up the run game.
2nd and 10, Stockton. Plenty of time to throw downfield, open to Lucky. Lawson's inside the 5, 1st and goal Dogs. It's Frazier. Touchdown, Georgia. Fourth rushing touchdown of the season for the sophomore from Compton, California. On 3rd and 9, Loftus. Incomplete, throwing behind Sean Brown. Brown covered by Dalen Everett. And it's another 3 and out. Fake to Nate. Gunner out route. Flags down. Branch with another catch. Into Charlotte territory. Let's see what this flag is about, though, as we check in with our referee, Jason Autry. Very used to this crew.
Holding, defense number 5. That penalty is declined. Result plays a 1st down.
17-yard catch stands. Very quickly into 49er territory. That ball's deflected at the line of scrimmage by Ty Baldwin, who just committed. Maybe there isn't this dynamic Heisman Trophy level option, but a lot of solid options.
Well, part of it's because there's so many good options. We'll call them good to great even. You have to spread that football around. There's too many opportunities to go to multiple spots.
And Cass Jones has a 1st down run. Or right at it. Let's see. Might be short.
I thought so too. You're right, Taylor. As he burst through the hole, I thought, I think he's got it.
It appears he is short. Curtis Simpson, nice tackle to set up a 4th down, and the offense will stay on the field. Dogs are 9 for 12 on the season. Jones is that 3rd down man. That is his role. He's off the field now as Frazier and Roderick Robinson are in the backfield. Stockton still with the ball. Gunner dives and has a 1st down.
Well, that's an element that he has. We've talked about it all season long, really. The mobility that Georgia has at quarterback, something they lacked the previous 2 seasons. It's a legitimate run threat. That keep on the edge is definitely something that he brings to the table. Now, I will say, you don't want him having to extend like that on the edge too often to be able to get those conversions.
Yeah, you would rather him not do it, but you love that he does do it.
That's a good way to put it.
On the fresh set of downs, Stockton step up, and it ends up getting a few more yards with that move at the end to get near the 25 near Caden Schmitz.
You know, we got a great stat guy in Kevin Maloney up here with us. He just observed the fact that he leads the team in rushing touchdowns, does Gunner Stockton. Because of that, with 8, you recognize just how active he is in the run game.
There's another one of those pop passes, and Thomas finds a little crease, stays upright. 1st down, Georgia inside the 15. On 2nd and 4, Frazier already with 1 rushing touchdown. He has 2.
physical run, getting downhill and running through would-be tacklers. And then look at that, the rush. Big Juan Gaston out there, number 73. Getting some nice push in there to finally get him over the end line.
Looks like a team filled with people who like to hit others, right? 49ers do not have to run another play, and they will not. As the quarter will end with the Dogs up 14-0. Kirby Smart's team has won 114 games in his 10 years here, 62-6 in the last 5. Number 4, Georgia up 14-0 at the end of the first quarter against the Charlotte 49ers on Senior Day in Athens. Charlotte 14-0. 49ers have a 3rd and 8 to start the second. Grayson Loftus throws short and complete. Covered up was Javen Nicholas on the play. It'll be 4th down. Good defense there by DeMello Jones.
Physical way to play. And they said it was after the Tennessee game that kind of woke him up.
Bronson Long, 3rd punt. Zachariah Branch comes up to field it. Branch, midfield. And down at Charlotte's 40. Studio update time with Peter Burns.
Not just the offensive coordinator, the staff too. They contribute to that.
On 2nd and 8, Stockton throws, and right at the first down, Noah Thomas with a nice catch. And on a first down run, it's Walker. Bo Walker to the pylon, touchdown. The first touchdown of the freshman's career. Woodring makes it 21-0. Gunnar Stockton is 7 of 9 passing. And Bo Walker, the freshman from Ellenwood, with the 3rd rushing touchdown of the game. 21-0. On 3rd and 9, Loftus throws over the middle, and that's a first down. Past the 35 up to the 37 to Javen Nicholas. The 49ers move the chains for 11.
A hard time handling number 0 as a pass rusher, out now because Georgia rolls about 9 deep along that defensive front. Fresh set of legs. It's almost unfair for the offensive line guys. They're stuck out there. Meanwhile, the D-line's fresh legging it.
3rd and 12. Loftus lofts it up. Intercepted. Ellis Robinson, the 4th, with his 3rd interception of the season.
It's a nice play by Ellis Robinson, plus by the receivers. You got 2 receivers in the same area. You see that ball going up. Who are you throwing it to? Ends up being a Georgia Bulldog.
SEC football presented by Allstate is brought to you by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
I think I saw Believe That. Savage, New Haven, Connecticut's Ellis Robinson, the redshirt freshman. 3 interceptions now on the season. Gunnar Stockton is still out there. For how much longer is a fair question. Stockton across the middle. And big Elias Williams, freshman from Kingsland, Georgia, with his 7th catch of the year.
You talk about developing players in this program. So Elias Williams, and he still took scout team reps this week, they said. But he was down there with the scout team. And because Kirby Smart is watching both sides, offense and defense, he was telling the offensive staff, hey, look, you're getting number 10 in there. Now, this is a deep and accomplished tight end room already with Lawson Lucky and Oscar Delp. They felt as if they had to get number 10 some more touches. He's become an every down player.
Pop pass, Dylan Bell. And Bell on a sweep. Gets near another first down. we should see Ryan Puglisi, the redshirt freshman from Paxton, Massachusetts, here shortly. Whether that happens before the end of this half, certainly in the second half. And Ryan Montgomery could play some today, the freshman from Findlay, Ohio.
Yeah, as this game continues, if it continues to trend the way that it has, there'll be opportunity to see quite a few depth players in this game.
On 2nd and 3, inside handoff to Frazier. And Nate has another first down.
It took that last bit of effort. Looked like maybe Charlotte was going to be able to come up with the tackle just shy of the yardage needed. Frazier with that late lunge to pick up the inches that he was just shy, and looked like he was a little shaken up at the end of that run.
Stockton all day. Steps up and throws. Great ball to Zachariah Branch. 20 more.
You mentioned it, Taylor. Protection held up pretty good. And Zachariah Branch, as he sees his quarterback leaving the pocket, really he was just pushing to his left more than anything else. And you mirror that. Continue your route and mirror the direction your quarterback is moving.
And I forced Mike Bobo to tell me what concept he likes the most, and he said crossing routes. And there you see Branch, who's just lived on those crossing routes all season.
And he has been fearless a number of times this season.
On 1st and 10, a lot of pre-snap movement. Stockton underneath, and it's caught by Jaden Reddle. And Reddle's near another first. He'll get 9. 2nd and 1. And it's Walker. Walker's untouched. Nate Frazier has 2 touchdowns. So does Bo.
Nice job on the left side. Good patience by Walker. And of course, difficult to miss that hole.
8-0 Georgia, using the ground game all 4 times to find the end zone, getting ready for clean old-fashioned hate on Friday. 2nd and 9. Loftus steps into a sack. Swarmed. Elijah Griffin got home. The freshman from Pooler, Georgia.
I happen to be watching, so here he is. Watch this. Look out, kid. I mean, that's some nasty power. That's some low-end torque. And you're just hanging on to your dear life. Not often you get a true freshman that can play on the line of scrimmage and just out of the box can get it done. Elijah Griffin has had one heck of a freshman campaign.
On 3rd and 16, they'll just run it. And Gainey get him a few yards as we go to the 2-minute timeout. Braylon Wilson and Ellis Robinson help forcing another 4th down.
Was a complete performance.
Stockton hands to Frazier, and Frazier gets near a first down. But if you're Vanderbilt and you want to get back to the top of college football, or get there for the first time, you got to bring in a bunch of transfers. There's Frazier, and Nate straddles the sideline.
Yes, I mean, you're talking about, when you look at the disparity, age-wise, years in college-wise, this is one of the youngest teams in the Southeastern Conference, and Florida would be another young football team. And then you've got others. You see the 84 underclassmen, unbelievable, freshman and sophomore. The trick now is to not only develop them, but to hang on to them. Because as you mentioned, these are high-caliber players.
Stockton swings out to Zachariah Branch, and Branch gets past the 40, near the 130 mark. Ended a streak of 10 straight completions for Stockton before that incompletion. Gunner sacked. Back out near the 35 by Curtis Simpson. Redshirt freshman from Shelby, North Carolina. Instead is with UNC Charlotte. Stockton, downfield intercepted, threw it right to Jaquarius Conley. And Conley gives the 49ers the football near the Dogs 35.
That's a couple of great plays by Jaquarius Conley. Earlier, he was in run support versus Nate Frazier. And this time, he's just trying to get it to Lawson Lucky. That ball's flat. He's running right down the seam. And you can see Conley's underneath that one. Looked almost like he was intending it for Conley. You've only really seen two bad interceptions from Gunnar Stockton all season long. Both of them have been here at Sanford Stadium. One was versus Kentucky.
Yep.
He forced one in, and then there, where you got 3rd and 10 plus, he took a sack, you're just forcing one in there.
It's just his 4th overall interception. You're right. You took the words out of my mouth. You have not seen him force the football like that. 49ers put some points on the board before the break. Gainey, he gets him into field goal range down near the 30.
Big opportunity here for Charlotte to get on the board. See if he can capitalize on that takeaway.
Colby Garfield will snap it. Bronson Long holds it, and it hits and goes in for Liam Boyd. And the Niners are on the board going to the locker room.
How about this? A bank shot. Glances right off of that right upright. And the 49ers able to find something. There at the end, you pop a couple of nice runs and capitalize on the quick change, take away with the interception.
Loftus throws it up. Incomplete, trying to get it to Nicholas, underthrown. And it's a quick 3 and out for Charlotte. Sort of sounded like Kirby Smart was telling Alyssa that we would see more of Gunnar Stockton, and there he is getting ready to go on the field. I think that is in part because of how he finished the half.
Yeah, he didn't like the decision making, and he pointed out, look, it wasn't as much the interception. Of course, no one would be thrilled with that from Georgia's sideline, but it was taking that sack, holding onto the football too long. You can't do that in the 2-minute drill, and of course, coaching moment.
He's targeted 10 different receivers on 15 completions. Here's Noah Thomas, and Thomas steps over 49ers past midfield. Stockton line of scrimmage to Thomas, and there goes Noah. Noah Thomas dives down near the 10. Inside handoff and a touchdown for Bo Walker, his 3rd of the day.
SEC football presented by Allstate is brought to you by T-Mobile 5G Home Internet.
Senior Day, Georgia Bulldogs. Look at what these seniors have done, too, throughout their time in Athens. 48-5 here at home, 2 SEC championships. And maybe another home game. We'll talk about that coming up. First, let's go back to the studio and Peter. Meanwhile, it's 35-3 here, and on a toss, it's Cobb. Gets the edge. Nice run. First run, Rayshawn Dinkins on the tackle. Loftus moves the pocket. Good ball to Sean Brown. And Brown just short of a first down. Graduate player from Waxhaw, North Carolina. Right near where Alyssa Lang and Matt Stinchcomb are in the studios in the middle of the week. 10 minutes from there.
right down the road. Heck of a start. Look at this drive. Get that nice run out to the perimeter, and then a strong completion on first down to get to second and manageable.
On 2nd and 3, inside here, handoff for Cobb, and Cobb is hit immediately. One of those big dog defenders, Elijah Griffin, and that man Justin Williams there on the stop. On 3rd and 9, Loftus underneath. It's caught by Nicholas, and it'll be 4th down. It's a 6th punt coming up after Jaden Harris made that tackle. Here's Ryan Puglisi, the redshirt freshman from Paxton, Massachusetts. 9 of 16 on the season. One of the top recruits in college football coming out of high school 2 years ago. Coach Bobo says he's intentional with what he does. Strong arm, quick release. There's some other fresh faces that we're going to talk about here in the second half as well. Puglisi's under trouble. Oh, and he gets tackled inside the 10. Jamil Talib.
I mean, he had the hustle to keep this thing alive. Comes out of the fake. Great job. Get upfield right now by Jamil Talib. Puglisi just had to battle his way to get back to the line of scrimmage. As you see one of the young wide receivers, CJ Wiley in the game, the freshman.
On 2nd and 12, Dwight Phillips, and Phillips turns this corner and gets wrestled out of bounds at the end of the play. Jaquarius Conley tackled him, and a flag does come in.
Well, late hit out of bounds, defense number 6. 15-yard penalties added to the end of the run, includes an automatic first down.
Well, Conley's played a heck of a game. It's probably right here at the end. Yeah, I mean, look, you're out of bounds. It's a dangerous type of a tackle, too. Those little hip drop tackles. Defensive end for LSU not that long ago in the late 90s.
Walker, not much doing there. So that'll set up 3rd down. Cortez Smith, another name to watch that comes from a place you're very familiar with, is in there at center. On 3rd down, good ball by Puglisi. Nope, thrown incomplete, too far wide of Wiley. CJ Wiley, freshman from Baton Rouge that you referenced. Percentages there, why George's percentages are so high. Loftus running around and throwing downfield, and that was caught.
Wow.
Yeah, Sean Brown makes that catch on the sideline.
Rolling on the field to complete a catch for a first down.
I like A&M. Give me A&M this year.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there down goes Loftus. Chris Cole all over him. Loss of 10. And I would say even further, in some cases, harder to win than a national championship. Dwight Phillips on the run. You think of it, Georgia in one of those 2 back-to-back national championships. Did not win the Southeastern Conference, but won the national championship.
Yeah, it's not a necessity. And in this age, there is no, a season ago, it was the top 4 ranked conference champions.
Phillips, another good run.
To earn that bye. Well, they've divorced that whole element now. You don't have to be a conference champion to get a bye.
They were 11-1 going into the game and lost it to Clemson.
Well, and if you're given the scenarios that we're talking about, this is not getting in the playoff, but the playoff scenarios.
Swing it out of the backfield to Walker.
If Texas Tech, if for some reason Georgia doesn't take care of business, right? So next week matters for sure. Georgia doesn't take care of business in clean old-fashioned hate. They want to get those takeaways. They want to make the big plays, but they celebrate one another really well. So as great competitors, but they also find a way to be excellent teammates. They don't really eat their own, which is sometimes a fine line to walk. Put a bunch of guys in a competitive environment, a bunch of alphas, it can get a little muddy, get a little bloody. Instead, these guys find a way to compete during the week and then support one another on Saturdays.
It's been really cool watching everybody champion Bo Walker today, guys. I mean, obviously 3 touchdowns, it's a huge day for him, but the cheering has only gotten more and more aggressive the more Bo Walker does. A lot of it's Bo times down here as the offense is on the sidelines now.
I love that. Gotta want to need to get a Hava. 35-3 Dogs. It could be the last home game in the regular season. Loftus on 2nd and 4 swings it out to Cobb. That's a first down for Jariel, freshman from Reidsville, North Carolina. Loftus pumps and throws into coverage. And Dominic Kelly, freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida, his 3rd pass breakup of the year.
Nice break on the ball by Dominic Kelly. We talked about that big catch he gave up earlier to Sean Brown along the sideline. Nice break on the football there. Get in front of that pass.
On this field last year. 4th and 3, Puglisi incomplete on a slant. And Kobe White-Helton can't make the catch. It's a turnover on downs.
Cut his teeth here. Will played for Chris Hatcher down at Valdosta State, where Kirby Smart started his coaching career. What a catch.
Caught by E.J. Mason over Dominic Kelly.
Man, Dominic Kelly getting picked on a little bit here in the late goings of this game.
Here it's a 3rd and 3 for Loftus. Moving the pocket. Running, throwing on the run, and intercepted. Thrown right to Chris Jones. Excuse me, that's Daniel Okonkwo. Daniel Okonkwo, the freshman from Powder Springs, Georgia, number 26 in your program, with the interception in the corner of the end zone. And the Dogs get it back. South Carolina and Clemson, SEC Network, next Saturday at noon Eastern Time in the house that Lang built.
That's that new freshman center in Henry Piegler.
And a new quarterback. New center.
Yeah.
Excuse me, redshirt sophomore Piegler.
Ryan Montgomery in the game at quarterback. Ryan Montgomery, a freshman from Findlay, Ohio, there at quarterback. Langer able to identify players because of the big board she's holding in her hands, by the way.
Shout out to the best play-by-play man in the country.
2 minutes to go in this one. And again, Ryan Montgomery in at quarterback is going to hand it on a little pop pass to Jeremy Bell that counts as a sweep and a pass. And Jeremy has a first down.
I'm not going to point out that your entire family is from Mobile.
I love them. Outside of the family.
All right, but I'm not going to point that out.
Coach Dooley did come to a Zarzer wedding, so he counts.
Okay, so he's a family member.
Yes. AKA University City Boulevard. So that's why they're the 49ers. Not because of the gold rush of California, but because of all the references to 49. And they scored some points here today against Kirby Smart's Bulldogs, who win 35-3. How about this, Matthew Stinchcomb? First time in program history with 5 straight 10-win seasons.
You know, given the recent success, you think, wow, that's hard to imagine. But it just shows just how hard that is to accomplish.
We look forward to that one, too. Clean, old-fashioned hate is Friday in Atlanta, Georgia, with the Jackets and the Bulldogs. Last regular season game. Could be the last game, period, this season in Sanford Stadium. We'll see what happens in the playoffs. For Matt Stinchcomb, Lisa Lang, and Adam Coppinger and his great production crew, I'm Taylor Zarzer. So long, Sanford Stadium.